Yo, what's going on YouTube? It is your boy Cole back with another video. Today, as you can see, we're gonna go over my predictions over the first week of matchups basically. And I'll get over the roster changes when I get to like their teams matches basically. And I'll talk about their roster and what I think of them because I didn't make a video of like concluding roster mania. So I'll just go over their roster when I get to the team, basically. And first off the rip is the new look Paris versus Atlanta. And as you can see, I have Atlanta 3-0. Um, because I mean, it is Atlanta and they won they look back to Atlanta form at the last major, and when Atlanta's on form, they're the best team in the game. So yeah. New Paris though. They have Zapdius or They have Zapdius in replace of Classic, so the roster is Zap, Donnie, Scraps, and Aqua. And not that I don't have faith in Zap as an individual player. I think I have always had high respect for Zap. I think he's a good player and he's a good team player. And he's willing to do the unselfish or like the selfless plays on the map, kind of like Nikki D. Like he'd be willing to like take a step back and hopefully let like there's the star players of Paris fry, um, and take routes and stuff like that. So, but what concerns me is, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think this roster has what it takes to be top echelon or even like there. It's not much of a difference in my head from Classic. You know what I'm saying? I think Classic was one of the better players too, in my opinion. And he went to another team. And you're replacing him with Zaptius, which is a very kind of similar player in my eyes. And he's not like, I don't know. I'm kind of have Paris chalked in my mind. Like I don't see them making a top 8 run for champs or anything like that. Like I don't at all. So I don't know. I think Paris is pretty chalked in my eyes, unless I mean like they would have to come out and have a super honeymoon phase or like prove everyone wrong and really buckle down and stuff like that. Like I don't know. Other than that, Paris for me, they're eh. I honestly think this is going to be like a 30-35 minute series, to be honest with you. Um, and that's no disrespect to Paris or the players on Paris. It's just me being honest. Atlanta FaZe is the clear better team here. Um, Toronto versus Florida. No one's changed off these two rosters. And as you can see, I have Toronto winning 3-1. I gave Florida a map. I think they could probably steal a map. I just the problem with Florida for me is they're on the cusp of not making top 8, and the team closest to them is the LA Gorillas, right? But it's just like I don't like putting my faith in Florida anymore because I'm not saying that they don't have the potential to be like a top 4, top 3 team in the game, because they do. When they're on form, they can beat anybody, and they've proven that. But the problem is they're not consistently on form, like at all. They're super, honestly, probably like one of the most inconsistent teams in the whole league. Like it's just like, dude. I mean, and they're going against Toronto, so it's like Toronto's still top 2, top 3 team in the game. So it's like this was a no brainer for me. But that if Florida's on form, they can make this closer. I still would probably give the edge to Toronto, but I'd probably give like a Florida another map if they're on form. But the problem is you can't predict Florida's form and what they're gonna bring into a match in any given day. They're super inconsistent. So yeah, I have Toronto winning that match. Okay, so the next series is two brand new rosters squaring up against each other. First roster is Dallas Empire, which is they picked up Vivid and Bench Fellow. So it's Vivid, Shotzi, Illy, and Krim. I think this was probably the best pickup out of any other roster change that happened, other than maybe Minnesota. That's probably my second favorite change that happened. But yeah, this one's probably my favorite by just a smidge. I think if Vivid fits well in the Dallas system and what they want to do over there and how they want to play, they will be back to scary Dallas, in my opinion. Because I know what Vivid can bring to a team, and I know how good he is. Like, we all know how good he was on LAG last year and even this year. When he was on the starting roster and they were, I mean, they were kind of looking bad still, but like, he was really good in bringing like a lot of pressure and getting a lot of kills and had that great slaying potential. So I like this pickup a lot from Dallas. Like I said, it's just all about him fitting in the system. But and then they're also going up against the new London, which is Shawnee, Paul X, Alex, and Afro. See, this one is my biggest question mark. London is my biggest question mark. Because I wasn't a fan of them getting rid of Zappius and Zed and that team when their teamwork was looking better and looking like they were actually becoming a team in the major. And granted, they didn't place the greatest in the major, but they made it farther than probably like a lot of people expected them to make it. So I don't know. It's super dependent on Alex for me, in my opinion. I mean, Afro, he's hyped up and talked about to be like a European 18-year-old superstar, which usually when people are hyped up as much as that, like that, they usually are pretty good. It's just like Hydra and all the other players, right? When players get talked up like that, they it's rare. Like it's rare when they come in the league and don't fry. Um, so I have confidence in Afro to do his thing. My question mark is Alex. I think they should have kept Zed if anything, but I don't know. I mean, I think Dallas will come out hot in 3-1 with Vivid, and to be honest, like just it might be a little biased because I'm not a fan of the roster change London made, but I don't know. London needs to come and prove me wrong personally because their roster change was a big question mark for me and it made no sense. But either way, I have Dallas winning 3-1. Next up is Chicago, Optic, and Minnesota Rocker. I have Optic taking this 3-1 only because they're back on form. They look like they could, potentially win an event again, which is good. They need to keep the consistency up in their respawns, and I think they can win an event. But I do like the new look Minnesota with Major Maniac in replace of Lamar or Accuracy. And the reason why I like this New new look Minnesota team is because I think Major Maniac improves their S&D drastically. Like top, I think they'll become like one of the scarier search teams again in the league. And not only that, I think their pace and respawn improves. So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes like a 3-2 Minnesota or like a 3-2. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the game 5 here or a Minnesota maybe sealing the series away. But I have Optic because like I said, they look on form and I think they'll continue the momentum. Optic usually carries momentum very well in history's past, and Optic's always done that. So it's like they're hot right now, and I think they're gonna stay hot. So I have Optic 3-1. Into the Saturday's matches. It's Minnesota versus Paris. And like I said, I kind of have Paris kind of chalked in my eyes. Like I said, it's not that I'm don't. It's like I said, I have respect for the players individually on the team, a huge amount. I just don't see them working. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I want Paris to like be one of those cool sleeper teams, like so bad, but they're just not. But yeah, I have Minnesota rocking them 3-0 as well. And that's because like I said, I'm a fan of the Major Maniac pickup, and I think Minnesota will be back on track. Next up is a super controversial roster change with LA Thieves. They benched Hook and picked back up TJ. See, now I kind of want to talk about this a little bit because why did you pay? I mean, not really why. We all get why. It's Hook, right? And even if you're not going to play him now, you have Hook on your roster for the future as well. Let's say he stays on the bench for the whole season, right? Let's say they continue to go back with TJ and do well again like they used to. Let's say the offseason comes, they don't win champs. They probably make a roster change, right? Hook's still on your bench, and you can build around Hook and Kenny. And yeah, I like Hook. Having Hook is a great asset, but the important thing is they picked up TJ again, which I personally don't think they should have ever changed, to be honest, because like I get it, Took at the end of the day, but the thing about it is LA Thieves with TJ looked like they were like potential maybe major winning team. They looked like they were having fun. Their teamwork was on point, and they were just running around and frying. And they looked really good with TJ. The chemistry looked there. The vibes looked there. With Hook, I mean, granted, like it's a new team, and even with like new teams should have the honeymoon phase, but like they didn't really like look comfortable anymore. They didn't look like the same thieves that they looked like with Teach on the team. So hopefully, with the re pickup of TJ, they return to that like top four, top three team in the game type esque vibes that they were giving off at the stage two major, and come out with the fire. But I have them winning 3-1 against the new look Seattle Surge, which is also something we got to talk about. Seattle Surge picked up Classic in replace of Desi, and the rumors are is that Desi kind of like left, which I'm not a huge fan of. Like, I don't know. You have your opportunity in the pro league to show you that you can fry, and hopefully, even if you aren't in the best systems, right, or on the best teams, you can still get your stock up. Like, I don't know. It just makes no sense to leave a CDL league opportunity at all. So, but they do pick up Classic, and Classic has done like this is a weird pickup for me, but like I could see it going well. Hopefully for Seattle, but at the same time, Seattle, I don't know. It's kind of hard to put my faith in them anymore, or it always has been hard to put my faith in them, to be honest. Um, but Classic has been known to do well with players like Octane and Gunless. So I think Classic could be a good fit because he is a selfless player and he will pick up cuts, push out cuts, bait for Bristini, bait for Octane, bait for Gunless, no problems, no questions asked, and will be that gap filler, selfless player. And hopefully he meshes well with the Seattle core. But I mean, like I said, LA Thieves really picked back up TJ, and I think LA Thieves are probably the better team with TJ. If they had Hook, I would still probably give it to LA Thieves, but I'd probably give Seattle like another map, maybe. But yeah, I have LA Thieves winning 3-1 in this series. Next up is Subliners versus Gorillas. And these are two of the same rosters. No need to get in depth about any changes there. New York just got second. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't have much to say about this series other than I think New York's going to come out and play their game and get the job done. Um, I will say that I think out of the bottom 8 teams, LAG has the best chance to knock out Florida. Like London with their New York change or with their new change is a question mark. They're in the bottom four. Paris, I think, is shocked. Seattle is at the bottom. They're gonna need like back to back major runs to get top eight to knock out Florida and pass other teams and stuff like that. But yeah, either way, um, I think this team has the best potential to crunch the top eight and make the top eight, pretty much. But I mean, they are playing New York. I don't think this is the series that's going to get them points. Going to be a tough series, but yeah, New York should come out and get the job done and win 3-0. Um Next up is London Royal Ravens versus Florida on the first match on Sunday. I have Florida 3-1. And that's because like I said, this may be a little harsh. I may be a little harsh towards London right now. I hope they prove me wrong, but I mean, to me, even with Florida's inconsistencies, I still think they beat London and with London's new team. Um, so I have Florida winning 3-1. I don't know what else to say, but I hope, like I said, I hope London proves me wrong and comes out and swings with their new roster. Next up is Toronto versus Dallas. I have Toronto 3-1, but I was close to giving Dallas maybe another map. Like I was on the edge. To me, it all depends on like how good they look in this series. Because I think if they win like 3-0 in 30 minutes, this could be like a 3-2 or like maybe a Dallas win. You know what I'm saying? But they are playing Toronto at the end of the day. Still, in my eyes, probably like the second best team in the game. Maybe or second or third. New York's up there as well. But yeah, I still think Toronto's Toronto. They 3-1 Dallas. Yeah. Now this one's probably gonna come by a surprise to a lot of people. I'm going with the upset because I feel like I went with like pretty standard picks in the rest of my predictions, to be honest. Um, I kind of wanted to throw in an upset because I feel like this series has the most potential to maybe have an upset, in my honest opinion. So that's why I went with Optic. And I am an Optic fan, but I'm not picking Optic because I'm an Optic fan. I want the. I think Optic winning is 100% an upset. I'm not a delusional Optic fan. I don't want to get it twisted. FaZe is the best team in the entire game. I have a huge amount of respect for every team in the league. I want Optic to win, but I'm also not sad when they lose. Um, yeah. So I have Optic winning 3-2, and the only reason why I say that is because the last time these two played is when I mean obviously there was that ping controversy in Atlanta server, blah blah blah. Granted, that's not going to change how that series went. Still think it's probably a 3-0 FaZe, but maps might be closer, right? Because Optic was not playing well at the time. They didn't look like the normal Optic, right? So I think Optic's back on form. I don't think that server issue will be a problem ever again. Um, yeah. So I'm going with the upset here. Um, if Optic stays in their form, they could beat anyone in the game. They have the potential to upset. They have the roster. They're full of talent. So I'm just going with the upset here. But yeah, that's basically all my predictions on week 1 matches and my thoughts on the rosters and what I think they're gonna do. Um, mm, I'll pull up the standings real quick too. Let me go to the Call of Duty League website. I'll pull up the standings, talk about it for a little bit, like kind of go in depth, like I said, of kind of like where teams are at right now. As you can see, it's get the only reason why I wanted to bring this up is because it's getting around that corner to champs time, where top 8 qualify for champs and the bottom 4 teams are knocked out of champs, or they don't play at champs. It's not like last year. So, um, like I said, it's going to be a battle between these two in my opinion. These two teams, in my opinion. If Florida stays on their inconsistent spiral, which they have all year, and I think LA Gorillas, honestly, looked pretty good regardless of the records and stuff like that of the last stage, because they lost 3 game 5s. And if they don't lose if they close out if they clutch up in those 3 game 5s and close them out, they're 4-1 in winners bracket, right? So it's like, I don't know. I kind of want to go with LA Gorillas taking the 8 spot. Granted, I think it's a safe bet to keep the top 8 teams the same going into champs. Um, I think that's what any betting man would put their money on, because I mean, just look at the 8 teams, and just to, I don't think I'm not scared of Minnesota's kind of like on the scary path right now too, in my opinion. They're kind of like, oh no, kind of. But like I said, I'm a huge fan of their roster change with Major Maniac, and I think they continue to go up or consistently stay around the 6-7 range, right? So I think my mind goes to these two teams, and that's where the battle is for me. Um, unless, like I said, London can prove me wrong. But other than that, I kind of want to go with LA Gorillas taking the 8 spot and stealing it, because of, I think LAG, in my eyes right now, I have more faith in them to close out like a close series than Florida, just in terms of Florida's inconsistency, strictly. But like I said, I'm just excited to watch the battle for this spot, basically, between these two teams. That's what I'm excited for, and that's why I kind of wanted to pull up the standings for a little bit and talk about that, because I don't think anyone should sleep on the Gorillas. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Basically, I hope you guys enjoyed week 1 predictions, and let me know what you guys think and your predictions and your thoughts and all the roster changes and what rosters you think are gonna do well and have no faith in and stuff like that. I'm kind of interested to know what you guys think is going to happen in this stage. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.